Beseder Gamor, Rabbi Say. Okay, today we're going to have a kasha, which Rabbi Say. I'll give a little introduction in a minute. Let's talk again about one nakuda that I think we spoke about last year. I think so, but I would like just to clarify because it's a big yesod. So first of all, shalom aleichem to everyone, and we should have only b'suros toivos, Yeshuas, for nechamos. Okay. B'pshuta shel mikra, Am Yisrael is waiting, and a Kodesh Baruch Hu is waiting. That's the big chiddush. The power should say yes, and the makkahs are after each makkah. Come on, Paro, please let us go out. And doing the makkah, so Paro says yes, and then he changes his mind. The first 5 makkahs, he on his own hardened his heart. From then on, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to harden his heart. Again, just a little nakuda. Why then was he punished if HaKadosh Baruch Hu took away from him his b'chira? A few questions that the Rishonim ask, but there's forno, and the Maral, one of his students, answer that after HaKadosh Baruch Hu hardened his heart, now we're back to 50-50. Meaning it's retaining his free will. It's not that it took away his free will. On the contrary, without Achbadas Halev, he for sure would have surrendered. Not because of free will, he just wouldn't be able to take it anymore. So,
where does she say that?
Huh?
Where does the Maharal say that?
The Maharal says this in Gvuris Perek Gimel Chavdalet.
Does he not write it in Gurari?
No, it's in the Gvuris, and he also says it in the Sforno says it on Vayachbad Ziboy. Then after the Achbadas Alev, now we're back to 50-50. Okay, it's a svara. But what's the pshat, Rabbi Yisai, that Am Yisrael has to, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to wait for power to agree? How do you say in Yiddish? Ich hab dich in Beidem. What's the lesson there? Ich hab dich in Beidem. What's it? Rabbi Shlomo, how do you say it?
I've got you in the attic.
In the attic, right? What's the expression in Yiddish?
In Beidem, yeah.
Maybe it's not such a nice expression to say, right? To tell someone. But I have in the attic. Meaning, why do we need parents concerned? Let him jump in the Nile. Let's make it more appropriate. Let him not jump in the lake. Let him jump in the Nile or in the Red Sea. We gotta wait and beg till he'll say His Majesty will say yes, and only when he says yes we'll leave. Why can't HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Am Yisrael, leave? Hi, Paulo said no. So what? So what? And the it's even a little priest's covenant shlichol. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to wait to power to agree. It's a very basic question in these parshas. Now, what was the purpose of the makkos? The power should let us free, or that power should get his punishment, mitzvah should get a punishment. The Pesach speaks about it. But Pshuta Shemikra is, the plague is, and then power says, no, I'm not letting you out. Okay, so we're still stuck. What happened to Makkos Plurus? He let us out. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu isn't his heart anymore. Why can HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Paro, Ich hab euch bei mir and by them?
Because he wanted to be in the market. He wanted to be in the market.
Okay, so you could say because it was a chetim that to bring the makkos. Again, the Pshuta Shemikra for sure is not like that. The Pshuta Shemikra we see that we're anxiously, eagerly waiting that His Majesty should say, yes, you can leave. Now we'll leave. Is this a Pasha Kasha? It's Hashem. Hashem's talking. Hashem has to wait for power.
But I mean, in Gimel Kaf,
Yeah.
it says, "V'shalachti es Yodid in case Yis Mitzrayim v'chol nifla osai asher yaseh v'kibo v'acharei chen yishalach eschem."
Again, even there, he'll let you go. What do I care if he lets me go or not? You know what? Do you agree that tomorrow the sun should rise? Ari, do you agree? Please agree. Okay, you asking? Huh, Ari? Yeah, okay. So now it's going to happen. You know, it was a Hasidic joke, no, Chavre? That a Rebbe said in the house, and the Chassid got him upset. So he said in the house should fall down. His house should fall down. He said, Rebbe, it's such a tough punishment. Because he a little bit upset you. Yeah, you're right. The house should not fall down. And a mess happened, and the house did not fall down. It's a non-Hasidic Shemaisa. Right? Why? And even the person that you're bringing, he's going to let you go. And if he doesn't let us go?
But he was the one who enslaved us.
So,
So he began it and he needs to end it.
no, he doesn't. Look, by the way, what happened at the end in the Yam Suf? He drowned.
Not him.
The Chazal said maybe he stayed. But the mitzvah came and they were running after it. And Yam Suf, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, told them, Ich hob euch in Boydem. So why can't he say it in the beginning?
Does it tie into the question of why they had to pretend they were only going for 3 days?
Maybe. That's another sugya. What's this 3-day business?
And let him.
And then I'll let him. And it was a trick that he should let. Again, but why are we going on our knees and asking Paro that he should let us out? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu is on our side. What do you say about that, Kasha?
That's come from him.
A passionate Kasha.
That's come from him.
What?
That's come from him.
Why?
Because he started it.
What?
Don't know.
So what? Well, it's something. There's a new thing in England. We need closure.
It's American.
It's an American thing. We need closure on this business.
Very American.
You started it, Paro, so till you don't finish it, it just won't be finished. Okay? What do you say, Rabbi, about discussion? And also, from the beginning, you know what, Rabbi Yamin, you reminded me, at the beginning, the first time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu in the Sneh, what do you say?
That's where I'm closest from.
Isn't that the last pasuk in Shemos? It has to be the Yochel
Which pasuk?
The last pasuk in Shemos. Yom Hashem Moshe, Ata Sira Asher Esa L'Parei Ki B'Yol Chazak Yeshat V'Yol Chazak Yidol Shema'aseh. It had to come from Paro.
It had to go from Gaza.
Throwing them out.
They'll throw him out.
That's part of the names.
They'll throw him out.
King Paro, who was the biggest signer of the Bonus Shalom, through Kanisol. So by showing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu's got the power to turn him around, rather than just take
So
that's mad for the names itself.
1 second. Okay, I'm gonna address you, Mr. Shim, what you're saying in a minute. Here, where did he say the power's not going to let you the first time to go? Where does it say it?
Gimel Yud Tes.
What?
Page 130.
Which parak again? Gimel Yutes. Yud Gimel Yutes. ואני ידעתי כי לא ייתן אסכם מלך מצרים להלוך ולא ביד חזקה. How's Rashi explain ולא ביד חזקה? אם אין אני מראה לו את יד חזקה. Who cares what Paro says? Who is he בכלל? HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs Paro's Meshus. What's going on here? And that's the negotiations the whole time. When will Paro say yes? So, Shia. I got it. After all these years, I got it. So Shia is saying something. I would like to explain it based on a moral. It's two morals I want to connect here to explain this to Twitter. We never spoke about this, Baruch. We did speak.
Can't remember the answer.
I think we spoke about it maybe a year or two ago. Huh? So, Michal, you remember what we said?
No.
Okay, maybe we should do tests, guys. Like semesters, and outstanding, and then your wives will have to sign the thing. Ha ha ha! Zeh retzini, guys. It'll be a lot of fun.
You've been husbanding too long.
I'm sorry?
You've been husbanding too long.
The Maral and the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that it says Asora Nisim Nasu b'Mitzrayim, v'Asora Nisim Nasu al Hayam. That Perek Hey that speaks about all the tens. the 10s, the 7s, the 4s. Asura Nisim. So ask the Maral a very simple question. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do it that way? You know what, before I tell you this Maral, let me give you a little introduction again from this week's Parsha. Rashi says in this week's Parsha that it's one of the 10 Kavod Chomeros which are mentioned in the Torah. Where? Here. Hem b'nei Yisrael lo shemu elai, ve'ech yishmeini paro, ve'ani aral sfasayim. Here. Perek Vav, Pasuk Yud Beis. וידבר משה לפני השם לאמור, הם בני ישראל לא שמעו עליי, ואיך ישמעני פרוי, ואני ארל ספסיים. Again, we need Paro's Shmiya. Says Rashi, זה אחד מעשרה קו החומר שבתורה. By the way, why is Rashi saying that? Like, who cares? It's like 10 Kav HaChomeros in the Torah, this is one of them. Like, yeah. And therefore what? Like Shkoyach? Like, was? I don't know. That was, I don't know. A few times Rashi says it, Nachon?
Is it the first?
Where's the first one? What?
Maybe because it's the first, but I don't know if it is the first.
Not the first.
Is this the first time?
I don't know.
No, the brothers of Yosef. That they told Yosef, if what we took we brought back, so now we're going to steal? You remember with the Gavia?
Did Rashi say anything there?
Yes. Let's give a look. At the end of Miketz. Here. Perek Memdalet Pasuk Ches. On page 108. Hand Kesef, in Breshis, obviously. Hand Kesef Hashem Matzah B'fiyav Datenu Hashem Anu Lechem Eretz Canaan. Ve'ech Nigdom B'Yisrael Necha Kesef Azov. Says Rashi, Zu Echad Masar Kavachim Amurim B'Torah. V'chula Menuim B'Breshis Rabbah. And there's more.
Yeah, there's one in the Balos with Miriam.
With Miriam.
We're waiting for the day.
Does there Rashi say it?
I looked up.
Okay, because the first time Rashi says it's by the brothers of Yosef. Why does he have to point out, there's 10 Kav HaChomeros in the Torah? You should know there's 10. Okay, Lo Baruli. So asks the Maharal, what kind of Kav HaChomer is this? It's a Kav HaChomer Pricha. There's a Pricha on this Kav HaChomer. Because it says first, the Bnei Yisrael lo shemu el Moshe mikotzer ruach v'avodah kasha. Because they're in distress. Paro's in his palace. He's not in distress. So what's the Kav HaChomer? If the Jewish people don't listen to me, Kav HaChomer, the Paro won't listen to me. No, sir. The Jewish people didn't listen because of a reason that does not exist by Paro. The reason it doesn't listen because that does not exist by Paro. He's a king. He lives in luxury. So what's the Kav HaChomer? That's what the Maharal asks. Anybody want to answer? What kind of Kav HaChomer is it? Sorry? What? No, Hem b'nei Yisrael lo shemu. V'lo shemu b'nei Yisrael Moshe mikotzer ruach. No, look. Pasuk Vaydaber Moshe b'nei v'lo shemu el Moshe mikotzer ruach ma'avodah kasha. Not Moshe didn't have avodah kasha.
It brings to the bottom,
That?
it says that if the Eden didn't listen when it was the Tovah song, so for Paro, which is
B'midach Yisrael, what about this cheshbon?
what the stress.
Yeah.
He was out of time.
What?
He wasn't clear in his speech.
No, but he mentioned that. V'lo shemu el Moshe mikotzer ruach ma'avodah
No,
kasha.
but here, but Parrot says, "Ani allowed to time."
True. That's another thing. He's adding another point. Chutz. But what's the Kav HaChomer? What's the Kav HaChomer? It's a Kav HaChomer Pericha. So the Maharal says it, but bring out the Nakuda. It's really what the Sifsei Chacham that you're quoting, Rabbi's point. Meaning, yes, the Jewish people have an obstacle, they're in distress. Paro has an obstacle, he doesn't want it. What is a bigger obstacle? Yes, Am Yisrael has the obstacle that Paro doesn't have, and Paro has the obstacle that Am Yisrael doesn't have. But if we would weigh these obstacles, let's give him a number. How many kilo does the obstacle of Kotzeruch Laveda Kosher play? It's something that's good for your benefit, but you're in distress. I would give it 3 kilos. How many kilos do you give to someone who doesn't want to hear it? Because he has invested interest not to listen. Negi is what we learn in yeshivas. How much does that weigh?
10.
At least. So I can still make a Chavachomer. If the Jewish people that have only an obstacle of 3 that listen to me, Paro that has an obstacle of 10 for sure won't listen to me. But with the aside that you learn from your Rabbi Yisrael is that willpower and a resolution that a person takes upon himself is something extremely powerful. If I make up my mind that I'm not going to listen, or I make up my mind, period, on anything, it's stronger than steel. When there's a will, there's a way. How do you say? What does that mean when there's a will, there's a way? That if a person's committed on something, nothing will stop him. Garnished. Because willpower is stronger than any ma'akim that we could think of in the world. You know, Eli Horan, the big bear from Sao Paulo, that he sponsors the Tshuva world. In the Forbes magazine, he's in the first 500.
Forbes.
What's it called?
Forbes.
Forbes. How do you know, Harry?
As a minute.
Very good. I don't know why I'm not in it. They made some kind of mistake. But anyway, I'll go upon him. So he once told me, you know what? You know who I hire for tshuva? People that worship me for tshuva? People that do not know the word no. The word no doesn't exist. No such thing as no. And they say a willpower that he has a ratzon barzel. That's how you say it. Do you have I don't know if you say it in English also?
Iron will, yeah.
You do say iron will. Meaning power doesn't want to hear. That's extremely powerful to change that. A decision that a person makes. Am Yisrael to make a decision, they're just in distress. Without the word just. When you compare these two obstacles, power's one is a much harder one to overcome. And you see people, with my job in the base, I see it daily of young teenagers make a resolution and they start flying. And they're miskaber on everything. You know, they're miskaber on everything. It's Yadu on the Chofetz Chaim that he had all kinds of ma'akvim printing the Mishabruah and so on, and he said, there's something, you're trying to stop me, I'm going to win. You're not going to win. I'm not going to give in. And when a person makes such a kind of resolution, really nothing can stop him. There's an expression which is not a Jewish one. Ein davar ha'omed b'fnei haratzon. I don't think it's Chazal. It's not. I once looked into it. If you want something, for good or for bad, it's almost impossible to change. If you want something, you have a very good chance of getting it. Rabbi say, try it in davening. Be'emes. If you really want something, and daven for it again and again and again, I'm telling you, 90% you're going to get it. Try it. Be'emes. Again, it has to be something, it can't be like a nest. You know, but with the realm of Teva. And you want something, you have a very good chance of getting it. Because that's the koyach of a man's power. Says the Maral, going back to that mission of Pirkei Avos, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu have to make 10 nisim in Mitzrayim and 10 nisim on the Am? Answers the Maral, I'll tell you why. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to show Am Yisrael that any kind of adversary, what? Adversity. Any kind of enemy that will.
Adversary.
What?
Adversary.
Adversary. What I said before?
Adversity.
What is that?
Adversity is when you overcome something.
Oh, okay. So not that one. Okay.
The Rob got it right the first time.
What?
The Rob got it right the first time. Adversary.
There was one. Adversary. Any adversary, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to tell Am Yisrael, any adversary that's going to come your way, I'm going to take care of it. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu's, he's coined us through the Nisim of Mitzrayim. Through Yitzias Mitzrayim. And the Yitzias Mitzrayim will be done against the top 2 kinds of enemies you could have. Nature. That's the Yam Suf. You have a sea, water you can't go through. It's push. It's you can't go through. You can't go through it. And the other one is man, enemy. There's two kinds of adversaries: nature and a man. And lo re'izeh kirizeh, v'lo re'izeh kirizeh. Each one has a plus and a minus that the other doesn't have. Michad Gisa Teva is very powerful. It doesn't change its mind. It's always going to be like that. You can't go through water. 3 million people or whatever, 2 million people can't go through a sea. You just can't. And you can't persuade the sea to change its mind. It's a given. Me'itach Gisa, people have willpower, which is also, and people have brains, and they can outmaneuver you. The Teva, there's no chachma there. It's very predictable. You know exactly how the water is going to behave at this and this time. There's no tricks that the Teva is going to pull on you. Masha'ekin Adam, b'tachbulis taselacha milchama, he could be a pretty dangerous enemy because he's unpredictable. But you say he could change his mind. He's tired. He could die. I don't know. He has weaknesses that Teva doesn't have. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to show Am Yisrael that these two kinds of adversaries that you may encounter, I'm going to beat both. So I'm ticking all boxes. That's what the Maral explains there. Ticking the Adam and ticking the Teva. That's like there were 10 Nisim done here and 10 Nisim done there. Kach lo med Maral, that mission pick of us. Yosef, is that a phone, Yosef?
So if you look at the word what adversary means.
Okay, very good.
Adversary is an opponent.
An opponent.
An adversary. Adversity is overcoming the misfortune, overcoming a continued set of circumstances.
Really?
That's adversity.
Okay,
Adversity,
shkach.
adversity.
Shkach.
So Paro is an adversary and the sea is an adversary.
Adversity, correct.
Really?
Adversity.
That's all comes out?
Adversary is the pronoun.
Well, that's a great chiddush for tonight. That's a great chiddush. Okay, so now I'll say, now how do you overcome Adam? This the Maral says in Tiferes Yisrael. Well, you could kill him. You can just push and kill him. Shoot him. That's not called that you're overcoming Adam mitzad the Adam part. That you can do also to animal. I mean, you just wipe the floor with him. Fine. The Maral says this in the Kudah, that that's a come in Tiferes Yisrael Perek Tzayim. The Maral says why Torah has to be given. Because to bring Adam under the kingdom of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu anyway could do with Adam whatever he wants. He could kill him, he could bring a flood, he could do whatever he wants. That's not called bringing him under him as Adam. Push it, you're stronger than him. But Adam has a seichel. And to bring that element under HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you got to give him a Torah, which is kulei sichli, and he'll understand it, and he'll say Nasa v'nishma, and as a Baal Seichel, he'll mekabel Malchus Hashem. That's how you speak to human beings. A human being is known for his das, for his Seichel, for his das. And if you want to bring a human being, ha'adam, the das, B'chlal, Rav says the das of a person is called ha'adam sheba adam. It's like this spitz adam. You know, we have different layers in our systems. Das is the highest one. Adam sheba adam. And to bring that one under HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it has to be through a mahalach of seichel, which is called Torah. Therefore, Torah has to be given. That's one of the reasons why he proves why Torah. It's like a second reason that he gives there. He gives a few reasons why it's a hechrech that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give Torah to the world. It has to happen, and that's the reason that he says there to bring Adam as a baldas under HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you could scare him and kill him. Fine, you're not communicating with him. You know, like the Maral's word, the Makam Vayikach is always with Dvarim. How do you take a human being? A human being, you take a human being as an intellectual being. So if you really want to take him, you got to speak to him as a human being. If you scream at him and yell at him and scare him, fine, but you're not communicating.
You're not recognizing him.
What?
You're not recognizing him.
Okay. So meaning when I see another human being, I see a face and eyes, I should really say to myself, you know, it's a brain. If you really want to communicate, then you got to connect to the brain one. That's a big insight. To look at people as with people with brains, and that's the real communication. So that's whenever it says vayikach, you're taking the person. How do you take the person of the person, meaning the das, through speech? through communication. That's what the Mal says there. So the Mela Rabbi say, when it comes to power in Mitzrayim, it has to be that he'll agree on his free will. How you forced him anyway? Well, again, according to that Sforno, I'm just preserving the free will. So of course the Kodesh Baruch Hu could kill Paro. Of course the Kodesh Baruch Hu could beat him up. Of course. But that's not called that you're overcoming a Adam that has das. It has to be that he will understand on his own that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the boss and he's submitting himself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because that's the adversary of Adam. Therefore, Paro has to agree. Of course HaKadosh Baruch Hu could say, Ich fight for him. Of course he could say that. But then you're not showing this element of overcoming an enemy who's at Baldas. You got to do a dasdik.
Why does it have to be that way? Because
To show that we're overcoming an enemy which has das. So we're winning over his das. That's what we got to do. If you just kill him or scare him, you don't win his das. You're just stronger than him.
Is that because built into your tears and trying is every future good?
Yeah? You could say that. It has to contain all the elements. Yeah, you could say that. So it has to be. So it's meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to show that even through a mahalach of das, I'll be acknowledged as the boss.
How do we know that he did that? How do we know that he just said, "Oh, I'm beaten now"? You know, at Makas Bachoros. Where do we know that
Because
it's I'm a Kabul Omar Shemayim?
It says in Chazal, they say Ki Hashem Hu Tzaddik.
Sorry?
It says he said on HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ki Hashem Hu Tzaddik. He said a few statements on the way.
Then he changed his mind because he went back after.
And what?
He went back after.
So what's that show?
So he changed his mind.
So meaning it shows that he didn't really surrender totally. It was at the again. If you say that all the makas is to keep the balance, so why do you say at the end go?
Why do you say what again?
But so basically, now here comes the kasha. But on Yamsov, you did let them drown, and you did kill them. Shlomo is saying not Paro. Paro himself. Two opinions in Chazal. So what happened then?
that wasn't Adam. That was
Exactly. Once you finish the session of Adam, now comes the Tema, and Paro is part of that Tema. We already went to the second phase. Once we're in Yamsuf, we're now under the phase. The Adam and Das is over. That was done already. How he changed his mind afterwards? Okay, fine. But there was a time that he thought about it and said go, and that's what we want. That because both could overcome that element as well. So, I said, that's the Nakuda number one. Could I to know? It's the embassy stick. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is overcoming the two elements that could exist against Am Yisrael, a das of an enemy and teva, stop. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to overcome both. Yes.
The changing of the mind after Yitzhak trying is very good according to the Maral and the Sfano because obviously he changed his mind because the Makkah wasn't there anymore, so he didn't have a Chira. If the Makkah was there to even it out and give him a Chira, then once the Makkah had finished, he didn't have a Chira anymore. Obviously he was going to change his mind and chase after them.
But when he said go, was that because of Bechira or not because of
At
Bechira?
that point it was Bechira. He did when he changed his
But,
mind.
one second, I want to understand. But after Makkah's prayers, that the Makkahs are over, so now he loses his Bechira?
yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because isn't that what the Sfano says? That the Makkah is
No,
there to give him the Bechira.
No, he says the other way. He says, meaning he would lose the Bechira and say go, go, go.
Right.
Because it's so heavy, right? You're saying you lose the Bechira and say, don't go. Right? Okay. זה קורה לכולנו, לא צריכים להתבייש. I have one Talmud, I can say that through, I can mention his name, B'Shifroi, that never got confused. You know, like the people they see with a razor, what's it called? Laser beam, boom, they never get confused. I always get confused. And I'm fine, I'm not afraid of him, so what? Ein adam oimed al divrei Torah, elam ken, nechshaban. But there's a few that have this claw cut. Does the element know Gideon Goldstein?
Yeah,
The Goldsteins.
yeah, cool, very cool.
Now, he has a brother called Eli.
Yeah.
Who's a son, they're also very good. They're all good. They're all good. I'm not comparing. They're all good and they're all great. But the guy never gets confused. I saw it. Okay, it's a bracha. It's a bracha. Be'ez Hashem, you should go weiter and weiter.
Does this simply prove that he really never changed his mind in absolute?
I'm sorry?
Paro never really changed his mind. He was persuaded, he was overcome, but he never changed his mind. He didn't want to let them go. And every time he was forced to...
No, but again, the force was 50-50. Let's remember.
Right, but I'll change it, but it came from him. He didn't want to do it, but then he was forced to.
No, he was not forced. It's
He wasn't forced to, he
50-50.
was pressured into it.
No, also not. 50-50.
50-50.
And then he said yes.
But
He was not pushed into it.
But it wasn't genuine though.
It was. That moment, it was
But then he
genuine.
changed his mind again.
Yeah.
So when he said yes, when he changed his mind, it was total conversion.
Yeah.
He was happy to go.
Yeah.
But then suddenly, no.
Yeah, because maybe here Kodesh Baruch Hu did harden his heart, like what Minchal is saying, because Kodesh Baruch Hu wanted Yam Suf to happen. But even though I don't know of any source that's what happened. I don't have a source for it.
Well, it does say, right? Yes.
It doesn't say anymore. Does it say V'yachmed Liboy? Does it?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe you are. When he's running after Paro. V'ikabtu b'faro. No, that's something else.
It doesn't feel that way.
What's it? Plus a good sign?
Yeah, but it's that TS name Paro or
Where does it say that, please?
Yud Gimel. Sorry, Yud Daled. Yud Daled.
Yudal Dal and Ches. V'chizakti is lepo v'rad avachem. V'ikabtu b'faro. V'chizakti is lepo. It's a different lotion, but it's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
And then Pasuk Ches. V'chazek Hashem is lepo. Yeah, enechinami. Here, look at Rashi. Shayatoyle im lirdof im lav. There's Rabbi, so look at the interesting typo here. Look at Per Gidal Pasuk Ches. Tell me if you discover a mistake in the Rashi. Vaychazek Hashem es leparo shayatoyle im lirdof im lav. It says aim with the ayin.
Not by me.
No? Like this one, it says with the ayin. Okay, good. So meaning he was in limbo, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mechazek. Yeah. Okay. So that's Nakuda number one. Nakuda number one is that there's the Indian to overcome an enemy that has das. First of all, the way we explain the Kavachomer, someone that makes a resolution in das, it's very powerful. That's a very powerful thing. It's good to know that we have those powers. If we make up a decision and we have a real resolution about it, first of all, if it's a good decision, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help. But it's a koich. It's a very powerful tool. But like what's saying in Yiddish, will no go. But I mean, it's a meal. You just have to want, but you have to want. Like I once heard from a Rabbi of Oizer, the Rosh Hashiva of Itri. This big Eloi. No one ever heard of him? Rabbi of Oizer? Niflo B'Oizer. Anyway, he said, it says, Keser Torah, Keser Malchus is the Dov V'Zaloi. Keser Kuhuna, the Gren Yuma, is the Aaron Ovanam. Keser Torah, Kol Oretz Elitol, Yava V'Yitol. So it sounds, it's free for all. Right? Michoel. Michoel. Hey, where's the Kaduri? Okay, we're gonna get him. Okay, good. Probably no, he had a simcha. You know, remember, guys. Yeah, so Hashem. And Keser Torah Kol Oretz Elitol. It sounds as if it's saying that Keser Kuna is excluded for Kohanim. Keser Malchus is excluded for David V'Zaro. Keser Torah, it's free for all. No prerequisites. Says Rabbi Riavoiz Lo Nachon. Kol haroitze litol yavo v'yitol. That's the prerequisite. He has to want. That's one thing. He has to want.
So when it says in Yud Base Lamed Aleph and Lamed Base on page 155, what is saying that means
Yud Base?
Yud Base Lamed Aleph.
Lamed Aleph. Yeah.
These are the key psukim. You can go now.
Yeah.
And that is free. You're saying free will and Kabbalah so much.
Yeah. Yeah?
And we're saying he was really sincere.
Yeah?
No heavy heart, sincere.
I don't know if he was thrilled, but he was sincere.
Oh, so I kind of he wasn't thrilled, and ultimately he's like had enough. No, I'm not.
The Seder.
Don't
Okay.
seem to disagree with me there.
Oh, okay. Now, Rabbi say, look, I hear. Now, Rabbi say, there's a Rabbi say in the Maral in one of the Svarim, there's a mamash pliya. The whole world speaks about it. But I want to show you in the Gurai this week's parsha. There's also one. The famous one that I'm referring to, Rabbi say, is that it says that the Maral speaks about how come it says Ushnei Narav Imoy by Bilam, Ushnei Narav Itoy, right? By Abraham. And the Maral brings it not the way it's written in the Torah. The Torah is written like remember, Abraham is with the Aleph, so Shnei Narav Itoy, and Bilam is with the Ayin, Shnei Narav Imoy. The Maral quotes it the other way around. That by Abraham it says Imoy, and by Bilam says Itoy, and then he says a whole pshat to explain it, like a whole page. It's Mamash Medrash Pliya. So all kinds of pshatim were set to somehow work it out, which is a very, very darchak. Said the Kotzker Rebbe, no, it's a mistake. It's a human error, a mistake. Why not Kodesh Baruch Hu bring about the Maral such a kind of mistake? Because otherwise we would have thought he's a malach. That's what the Kotzker Rebbe said. So you had to do one human error that only a human being could make to show he wasn't a malach. He was not a malach. That's Yadua. It's about on the Sefer. What?
Where's the passage by Bilam?
Let's give a look at Perikav Beis.
Shnei Narav.
What?
Does it say Shnei Narav?
Una'arav, you boy.
Oh, Narav.
Yeah, okay, that's what we said. Fine.
Yeah, all right.
What? It doesn't say Shnei.
Telling so.
Ushnei Narav. It does say. Perikav Beis, Pasuk Beis.
Oh, okay.
It says Ushnei Narav Imoy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and by Abraham it says.
Base Gimel. That's what we said on table.
Okay.
Base Gimel.
Kabeis Gimel, Ushnei Narav Itoy. A very good simon. Abraham's with the Aleph. It says Itoy. Bilam's with the Ayin. It says Imoy. That's what happened. That's what happened. The Maral changed it, and a whole page to explain it. It's a Pella Niskav. The whole world speaks about it. Rabbi say, I think there's one in this week's parsha also. Let me share it with you. Give a look. What happened in Makkah Tzfardeh? Look what happened. Makkah Tzfardeh is the second Makkah, that's Tzach. So give a look, Rabbi say. Parak Ches. It already started a little bit before, but let's start Pasuk Aleph. It's already the end of Perek Zayin. V'yom Hashem Moshe emor al ar netei zetchem b'matecha al na'aros al hayorim al ha'gamim v'al ha'tzfardim al eretz Mitzrayim. He told Aaron to do it. Okay? Yeah. Fine. Good. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu himself do it? So where's the match in the end of Tov to the?
I think it's by Kiddim, isn't it?
No, it also says by Tzfardeh.
Okay.
No, because of the Yor. The Yor, yeah. Okay, good. Let's go on. So what happened, everybody say? Okay, Pasuk Beis. Vayet Aaron es Yod al memei Mitzrayim v'tal ha'tzfardeh v'tachas zaretz. ויעשו כן החתומים להתיר ועלו את עצמם לעצמם. ויקרא פרעה למשה להר ויאמר התירו להשם ויעשר צורדים ממי. Now give a look at Pasuk A. ויאמר משה לפרעה, he spur עליי. He test me out. למתי אתיר לך ולעבדיך ולעמך להכריס את הצפרדים? When would you like it? I'm to your service. When would you like that tzfardim to be removed? And whatever you wish, that's what will happen. So what did he answer? Pasuk Vav. ויאמר למחר. Tomorrow. And that's what happened. Why did Paro say Lamachar? Why did he say now?
Because he thought Moshe Rabbeinu was a magician.
No, so this is the question the other Rishonim ask.
Yeah,
Oh, if you're terribly suffering from these frogs, and he asks Paro, when would you want them to be removed? Tomorrow, please. Okay, it will be tomorrow. If I would have been proud, I would say 2 minutes ago. Yesterday.
Yesterday.
That's what I would say. The Maral asks this kasha. Right? And let's see what he answers. Okay? Here. I see that you have the Maral on page Kuf Lamed Vav.
Thank you.
Page Kuf Lamed Vav. ומה שלא ישיב פרעה מיד תסיר הצפרדים. Remove them immediately. Why should I be suffering? It's the Rabban and they have an answer to the Rabban's kasha. So here he says an interesting svara. כי יודע היה פרעה כי יום שבא המכה באותו היום אין להסיר אותה. The day that the Makkah came, it's a day of kulei din. Today it won't be removed. כי אותו היום הוכה. That's the day that he got it. Meaning, so to speak, on the day that you got this slap, we're not going to change anything. Tomorrow's another day.
It wasn't one day.
I'll read you number 10. It was. It was about. I'll tell you how the Maral says this in verse Hashem in Perek Lamed Gimel. ומה שאמר למשה מתי יותר יהיה, מפני כי החטאת הצפרדעים הפך ביאת הצפרדעים. ולכך צריך יום מיוחד. You can't have opposites on the same day. The frogs coming and going on the same day. כי באותו יום כבר באו המכה כל היום. ואין באותו יום הסרת המכה. ולפיכך לא היה החטאת הצפרדעים עד למחר. שאחר שגזר הצפרדעים שיבואו באותו היום, אין גוזר גזרה אחרת שיכרתו. Okay. It wasn't the same day. Rashi says so that the tzfardim, usually was 7 days the makkah, but some of them Paro immediately asked to get them removed. And this was on the day that they came. Okay, I'm going to find it. Yeah, V'tana tzvaldea. It happened on that day. Okay. Now here comes the Maral and adds. Ve'ein lakshot ha'orov ubarad haya sarasa miyad. You hear what he says? By this logic, so Akka by Orov and Barad, the makkah was removed on the same day. If you say you have to wait, he says lo dami. Achlas tzfadim la'afsakat barad la'asat erov. There's a big chilik between frogs and hail and beasts. שדרך האורב להיות הלך ובא. Animals come and go. It's normal. וכן דרך הברד להפסיק. The hail comes and stops. So it can stop now. אבל החטאת הצפרדעים להעמיד אותם, to kill them, כיוון שהוקע אותו יום, לא באה הצלה באותו יום. להפוקי האורב והברד. וגם בעת המכה, דרך האורב שהולך ובא, וכן הברד, it goes. Okay, everybody says, so what's the Maral answer? To do opposite nisim on the same day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu won't do it. Even Paro understood it. So to have the tzfardim come, which is an S, and then suddenly they'll all be removed, is an S on the same day, it won't happen. You don't have afachim on the same day. Fine. But what happened with the Arv and Baran, it's not an S so much. Animals always are wondering. So when they come and they go, it's not an S. And the Baran comes and it could stop. Like they say in England, if you don't like the weather, what should you do? Wait 20 minutes. That's what I was told. 20 minutes will change. Okay? Well, boy said, what's the pillar here? It's mamish like a pillar.
They didn't go, they died.
By the Barat, it was the same day.
But the Orov is Machar.
By the Arav, it's Machar. What's the Mal saying? He which pasuk?
Okay,
Which parak?
Ches.
Parak Ches, pasuk Kafei. Let's give a look at what he say. ויאמר משה הננו חצי מבטלת ושר הערוב מפרעה מאמר מחר. It says mefarish that the Arv. So,
And the slichas we said earlier in Kippur, Machar is taken from there.
okay. Good. So the Maral is saying here that by Barad and Arav, by both, it was removed on the very same day. And he has a question, how come there it could happen both on the same day? And he says it again and again. The word Arav he mentions 3 times. That could happen on the same day. Animals come and go. They wander. It's not an S. You know what? Boy say, but at Arav it says Mefarish L'Machar. And you know what's even funnier? In Gvur Hashem, when he addresses this point, he says Arv was Lamachar. I'll read it to you. Masha katav Arv hu kashetuba. Ki beferush ne'amar ba'arv, that was the next day, Pasuk Avei. V'la'od, ela shebegvur Hashem, when he addresses this point, bi'er shetzvarderim ve'arov hu surak l'machorat. Tzvadim and Arv were removed the following day. V'zel ha'shano, ומה שאמר בצפרדים למתי יעתיר דמש ודווקא מחר, וכן לגבי עורב ושר העורב למחר, מפני כי החטאת הצפרדים הפך ביד הצפרדים, וכן עורב שגוזר ביום הזה יהיו, אין גוזר הפך זה שיכלו. אין המקסר באותו היום. So, meaning, tzvardim was, it says mefresh מחר. Barad, it says mefresh on the same day. Now, what about Arv? What about Arv? Is it like the tzvardim that was lemachar, or is it like barad that was on the very same day? Was it Seper Ches Pasuk Avei? Machar. And was it Seper Barad? No.
Same day.
By barad it doesn't say machar. But the Pella is that in the Gur Aryeh, he's saying that Arv happened on the same day. And he explains because the animals wander. So it's not an S. So they can come and go on the same day. I showed this over to Rabbi Shapira. He said, Plia Atzuma. It's so Gimel.
Bar's clear the same day. Lamed Gimel at the end of the parasha.
Perak Tes Pasuk Lamed Gimel.
Yeah, the execution in para, it's
As soon as he left the city.
It could say Seir, and then it happened immediately.
yeah. And it says that the bar was halfway down. And it came in your-
It stopped in the middle. Absolutely.
The bar brings it, broke the shoes.
So Rabbi say, Tzvardim is Lamachar, Barad was on that day. What about Arav? Now it says in the Pasuk also Lamachar, like Tzvardim. But in the Gemara he says no, Arav was on the same day as well. And he says, why? Because wandering animals could come and go.
Koska didn't say in that book.
Mama Shapala. The Kotzka could have said it here.
Yeah.
Is the Maharal saying that every makkah lasted only one day, or does he mean that there are some makkahs that every day there was a new manifestation?
No, he's saying that the day that the Makkah comes, on that day can go.
No, because
I'm with you. That's his lashon. He says, Power understood that Tzvardim will be only tomorrow because it can't be on the same day. Ve'ein la'akshois, the ha'orov v'habarad haya hasarosam miyad. Now, so I should have fully covered the opposite of this. The Arv and the Barad were removed immediately. Lo dami. Hachotes Tzvardim, la'afsakat ha'barad, ula'asaras ha'orov. Shederech ha'orov li'os ha'ilach ba. V'chen derech ha'barad la'hafsik. אבל החטאת צפרדים להעמיד אותם, כיוון שהוכר אותו יום, לא בהצלה באותו יום. להפוק יעשור הערוב, וכן הברד, וגם בעת המכה, דרך ערוב, אשר הולך ובא. וכן הברד, כל ברד הוא ברד, עניין חדש. ולא נכון לומר, כי כבר הוכר באותו יום. And by the way, in Gvur Hashem, he said Mefresh that Arv was L'machar.
The Maharal is not. Sorry, the way I understand the words is that the Maharal is not saying that this was the first day of the Makkah, and therefore it can't be stopped on the first day of the Makkah. It can't be stopped on a day that the Makkah comes. Borod is the type of Borod, Tzefardea obviously, and Arav are the type of Makkah that every day there was a new manifestation. Dung was just once. The water turned into blood, and that was it.
7 days.
But
7 days, but there was only the Hukah Hayom was only the first day. Here, with these Makkahs, every day was Hukah Hayom.
So Kenever can be removed?
Well, that was his question. He said,
No. I'll show it to you. It's not. And he says Meferish that Barad was on the same day. He says
it
it
was
was.
because it rained that morning. The
And
Borod was coming down the day that it stopped. It didn't stop the whole day. The whole.
It stopped on the day that it came.
Yes.
So the Maharal has a problem with it. On the day that it comes, you could stop it?
Exactly.
So he says, yeah, by Barad, yes.
Yes. And it did stop on the day that it came because there was Borod falling on the day that it stopped.
Yeah. And Arav? I'm focused on Arav. What happened by Arav? Did it stop on the day that it came?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It says Lamachar.
No, he davened for it to stop the next day, but on the day that it stopped, new animals came that morning as well. That's also called Hukah Hayom.
No. So what was the kasha from Arav? Well, why did Bechal deal with Arav? And you see in Gvur Hashem, he put Arav together with its Friday.
The steer, I don't know how you would.
But what was his problem? What was his problem with Arov? What was the kasha from Arov? There should be a kasha because Arov was also the next day.
Because it's like Sfardea.
Very good. It was. It was Lamachar. It says Lamachar there, so fine. It's like exactly like Tzvardea. I'm telling you, I remember like yesterday when I showed this to Ramesha. It was on a Friday afternoon after Mincha, and we were next to the window sill. Can I ask the Rav the question? And since he screamed at me a little bit in that chair, so he wanted to make up a little bit. He says, yeah, and he put a hand over my shoulders, and I showed him this. He says, Plia Nizgava. That was his lashon. I found one more other place that it's something like that also. A Plia Nizgava. It's like just cut. The Olam knows the story about Imo v'Itoi. Then I can tell. The Olam knows that. That's known. Derech Chaim. Then he changed the Imo v'Itoi. You know, Belina, I'll email to you this. You have a Gerai at home? Are you Jewish? You know, maybe we should work out something that the members of the shir, I should get for them a good reduced price. Maybe not for free, but just the principle. I think that's the minimum I could do. And you do the same thing with this Esrogim? For the Bnei Chabura? Only Bnei Chabura, Chasro, not the whole thing. That's one thing I must tell you that in Eretz Yisrael, I used to have Svarim at home, and I know I really shouldn't have been afraid if the Masach Nasah, how do you say Masach Nasah in English? The tax, what? I had like people coming the whole time buying Svarim. In England, not once. The truth is I don't have this farm. There's nothing but to come. It was, okay, but I'll call upon him. It's a pella. It's mamash a pella. V'tzorch iyon godol. Ketzer katavu bir b'goran kat shemakas or v'usra b'oto yom. It wasn't. It says Lamachar.
Why by Tzfardeh did Moshe Rabbeinu give him the choice?
I'm sorry?
Why by Tzfardeh did he ask him when do you want it? We don't find out he asked him.
How come here he asked Lamotai?
No,
He's spoiled.
Why only by Tzfardeh did Moshe Rabbeinu ask him?
The other times he says he's going to, he
When
doesn't
do you
ask.
want it? We don't find it by other.
Yeah, it's a good hara. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Rashi also before.
Rashi says he's spoiled means I'm going to show off.
Rashi also says L'mocha is Panel Hayom Sheyichus to L'mocha.
Yeah.
So Rashi also is troubled by it. Why tomorrow not? So Rashi says
Hayom is spoiled alecha
Panel
shechidot.
Hayom Sheyichus to L'mocha.
Yeah.
Yes, Rashi is also sort of,
It's clear that on the Tzvaydim it can't be done on the very same day. Right? It can't be done.
given the choice. Why?
Yeah. And you know what? The way the Maral is saying over here, Power even understood it. Agoy. Power understood he cannot ask, I want it to be roofed today. He understood that would be too much. Umashelo yishiv Paro miyad, that's it, that's volume. Even Power understood this logic. That on the day that you got hit, now we're angry. You want something to be changed? You know, also like amongst people, if someone loses his temper, well, what it says in the Pirkei Avos is like, don't bias him immediately. Let him cool off. Wait a day. Don't do it miyad. Al teretzeh ha'adam b'shas ka'asoi. Kach katuv.
But according to this, certain months only lasted one day.
Yeah, it says Mefarish. It says Mefarish there. That there was some makkahs that were just one day. A makkah, if it went through its natural course, it was a week. But if it was terminated earlier, it could be just one day. It says Mefarish there. It says Mefarish.
Maybe the Mocha with Oro is slightly different in that Moshe had asked and said that we want to go out and we want to go Nizbach Hashem. And he said they're not going to go today, they're going to go tomorrow. So I'm going to let the Oro finish tomorrow. We're going to go tomorrow. The Oro doesn't stop. The Oro stops, the doesn't let them out. So the Mocha is a slightly different.
Very possible, but again, you don't have any problem now. Do I have any problem between Sfardeh and Arov? On both of them is Lamachar. Hi, maybe those two Lamachars are not identical? Fine. So they're not identical. But I don't have a kasha though. In both of them it says Lamachar, which is great. The contradictions between Sfardeh and Baran, that's for sure a contradiction. And the Gemara Shemi says it's a contradiction between Sfardeh and Arov versus Baran. But here he says Boran joins. Here he says Arav joins Boran.
There's a difference in the Makkah itself. Sfardea it happened once and then it was there.
What's the problem?
Came new every day.
So what's the problem though? Yesh Baya? What's the problem? Why do you have to deal with it? Vis-a-vis Tzfardea, is there any contradiction between Tzfardea and Arav? That you got to start making chilukim?
Yes.
Why? This was Lamacha, this was Lamacha.
Yeah, except that the Orav was animals, so it was coming every day. The Tzfardea came once in the beginning and that was it.
Okay, so what?
It was Yom Shehukah.
Meaning Arav always be Yom Shulka?
Yeah, it's Borod is the
But that's
same.
not what he's saying here. He's not saying that.
I
I think it's exactly what he's saying.
But he don't. I don't understand the basic premise why he davened today for it to go tomorrow. So it's not. I don't understand how you're saying that it's impossible for it to get.
No, but how come Paul didn't tell him daven today that you go away today?
Okay, why? How come?
So he answers.
He did daven today.
Yeah, but it should be removed when? Daven today that should be removed when? Now or tomorrow?
I don't understand the whole question as to why it's so difficult to ask Hashem for it to go straight away.
So but Paul didn't do that. He said Lamacha. That's a fact. He said Lamacha.
For it to be removed, but you're davening today.
Daven today, but it should be removed tomorrow. Why what?
What is it?
Why did he want to remove?
Why did he tell him daven today to remove today?
Okay. Well,
That's the question.
And then I don't understand Maharal's answer.
So the answer is that Paul understood that on the day that he came, you cannot ask him to be removed.
But he did ask him to be removed.
To daven.
Yes, okay.
But
He's asking.
that you could do. You can't remove it on the day that it comes, but you can daven on the day that comes. It's a svara that removing and coming are opposites. It can't happen on the same day.
Is there a source for that?
But to daven today for tomorrow, that's okay. Meanwhile, you're only davening. That's fine.
Is there a source to say
That's not called the contradiction. The contradiction is coming today and removal today. That's a head-on contradiction.
why?
Roberto, you don't believe that? I'm going to send to Rabbach these 2 pages of the Maral, and Rabbach will send it to the
The
Olam.
difference between davening today for being removed today and davening today for it to be removed tomorrow. You're connecting with Hashem today.
Moshe will daven. That's no problem. He's going to daven anyway. He davens the whole time anyway. It's no problem. The Moshe's davening is no problem. But when will be implemented? So you can't have the tzvardeim removed on the day that they come.
Why?
Because on the day that you got hit, you can't be ask Hashem to do the opposite.
But you have asked him to remove him that day. You've asked him today for tomorrow. You're asking.
But again, but why did he ask for today, from today to today?
Okay.
So that the answer is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will not do reverse actions on one day.
It's a different day. The day is either a bad day or a good day.
Right.
Is that
You want to daven today? You
You
could.
don't want to daven to Hashem on that day.
Yeah, but it's
No,
not
I
on
could.
Moshe.
No, Moshe could daven. That's okay. Davening to Hashem is okay, but then Hashem should act in opposite ways on the same day. It's an oxymoron. I don't know how these rules work, but that's what the Maral explains. Believe it, I'm going to send it. I'm going to send it to the Olam. You'll see it, guys. Rabbach, you'll send it to me, answer Hashem to the Olam? Actually, okay, Rabbi say, you have it done. Do we have a minute from our Rabbi say?
I'm just trying to test those people out.
Okay, shkach. It's not so easy for him to work. That was. Okay, Rabbi say, all the best. We have a chashuv guest today. What's your name, please? Of course. It doesn't have to do with the Belzer Rebbe? And does it have to do with Eliezer Rokeach? The Rishon?
from the Sassaber Rebbe as well.
Wow. So you got yichus coming out of your ears, huh? That's what we say in America. It's coming out of my ears.
There's a little like this.